In our quest to preserve material heritage, we must not inadvertently contribute to its loss through ignorance and greed. Welcome to the Kris Collector Show, the ultimate vodcast for growing your collecting skills through online video. If this is the first time you are hearing the word kris, a kris is a traditional asymmetrical double-edged dagger exclusively unique to the people from the Malay archipelago. My name is Khairi Johari, better known as Pak Jofe, the Kris Collector from Singapore, and you are watching the Kris Collector Show. This channel is dedicated to helping you develop a healthy collecting habit and learn how to profit from the latest collecting trends, reviews, and helpful guides. On today's video, I am going to share with you the basic anatomy of a kris. So, if you are interested to know what are the vital components that makes up a kris, then this episode is definitely for you. So, without further ado, let's roll the intro and get on with the show. Do I need to powder my nose or something? Good, do I look good? And Okay, hi guys, and welcome to the Kris Collector Show. I hope you are all in good health and positive spirit always. My week has been awesome as always. Assisted my good friend Hidayah Amin and her team with her latest book launch over the weekend. If you missed that online live event, check out the link in the show notes below. It was an honor to be given the opportunity to manage the live stream and to work alongside veterans from Singapore's last Malay schools, Sang Nila Utama and Tun Sri Lanang. Pak Wan Hussein and Pak Muhammad Jaafar respectively representing these two schools. Much can be gathered from their opening address. The live stream went smoothly and it was a much appreciated gesture by the event MC, Mr. Shadun Sued, to acknowledge my assistance. With me revealing myself at the end of the event, I certainly felt like the Wizard of Oz, stepping out from behind the curtain. The thumbs up from Minister Edwin Tong, the guest of honor, was memorable. It's a nice touch to end the event. Overall, it was awesome. My standing remains unchanged. Help will be given to those who dares to ask for it. If you have the ability to do good for others, even if you will be hated for it by many, ignore the naysayers and proceed to do good that is within your abilities. Ignore the negative noise. High-performance individuals act positively instead of reacting with explanations. Some food for thought there. Earlier on in the week, I had the opportunity to attend a knowledge-sharing event organized by my Kris Collector brethren from Malaysia. Insightful sharing on the art of the Tajong kris hilt. Once again, to my fellow collectors there, thank you for extending the invitation to me, and it was an honor to be amongst the good graces of veteran collectors there. Admirable initiative to conduct a knowledge sharing session during your PKP period. I look forward to attending future sessions like this. I also look forward for a possible joint collaboration for the benefit of new audiences from Singapore one day. Before I start going off tangent again, let's start the show proper. The past few episodes, I gave a brief overview of the general types of krises that can be found in this region. Today, we will be going deeper and more specifically into the anatomy of a kris. What makes up a kris? Generally, to most, when they see a wavy-bladed weapon, they are quick to assume and describe it as a kris. Technically, it is not wrong, but did you know that a kris has its own unique set of components that must be present before it can be described as a complete kris set? To collectors, the fair value of a kris resides on completeness and authenticity. If any of these components are missing, or replaced with modern alternatives, it does affect its value significantly. For me, if I am going for an antique specimen example, my expectation is that each of these components must be original, or at least from the same time period or era from whence the example came from. No doubt, repairs will be required due to time as it may have been damaged along the way, but that is not an excuse for a complete overhaul. What is happening today? We have krises with genuine antique blades from, say, the 18th century, but the original fittings and components replaced with modern parts, and yet still sold at an antique price. This is not acceptable if it's not been declared so. This results in a hybrid variety of krises, whereby the blade is old but the parts are new, or vice versa, where you have a new blade but retrofitted with antique parts. It is important to preserve the original parts of the kris set for future research and reference, else primary data related to provenance origins will be lost, and this is a shame as it will lead to inaccurate data representation in future research. In our quest to preserve material heritage, we must not inadvertently contribute to its loss through ignorance and greed. A kris, regardless of its regional stylistic differences, will be considered complete if all these components are present. Now, a quick disclaimer, most of the terms I use in this video will be generally referenced from the Malay language from the Peninsular Malay regions, and the kris examples will be from the Malay kris diaspora. Areas outside of this region may have their own description in their native local dialect. I will not be covering each of the names given in accordance to each native region, as it would be too comprehensive for a beginner. This is a basic introduction specifically for beginners. Essentially, there are 4 basic components of a kris. Number 1, you need to have the bilah, which is the blade. Next, the hilt, which is the hulu, followed by the pendoko, the hilt cup, and finally the sarung, the sheath. Optional components which may or may not have been added is referred to as the tatahan, the additional decorative encasement that adorns the kris sheath. The blade is the core component without which a kris will cease to exist. The quality and style of the blade will eventually determine its exterior fittings. Now, think of the kris blade as a person. It is not the clothes that makes the man makes the clothes. In essence, the more substance and quality a kris blade possesses, outwardly the fittings will need to match its stature. Discussion on the kris blade itself is extensive and may take up several hours to explain, from how the blade is made to the forging techniques to the crafting of its base design and finally to its final form, be it a blade with locks, which is the wavy type of blade, or the non-wavy blade types, the kris luros types. Not forgetting the pamo arrangements too, for the benefit of new enthusiasts watching this video. Keep a lookout for future videos where I will share more on the kris blade. I won't be doing this topic justice if I don't do a full coverage on the topic of kris blades on its own. So do keep a lookout for this video in the coming weeks. The next most essential component is the hilt, without which there is no comfortable means of handling the kris. Over time, the kris evolved into a ceremonial dress accessory. Without a doubt, fundamentally it is still utilitarian in nature. Not only did the hilt become a comfortable means of handling the blade safely, it serves as both a talismanic offering and, in some accounts, a mobile portable first aid kit. Also, it is a symbol of status and rank. Again, this is an interesting topic on its own too. There are numerous variations of kris hilt forms that stems from a basic construct. Again, I will cover this discussion in future videos, so do be patient. I understand that as a beginner, you will be excited to want to know everything all at once, but believe me, it will pay off if you take things slow and get the foundations right first. Next, the pendongko or hilt cup, which usually comes to accompany the hilt, serves a functional purpose of showcasing the social status of the person owning the kris, and also provides a separate component to elevate the hilt, so it does not come into direct contact to the blade itself. There are several hypotheses as to why the hilt cup exists, but once again, I will discuss it in a separate video. Today is more of a general overview of the key anatomy of a kris. If you are buying a kris Essentially, these components must be present for it to have an aesthetically pleasing appearance. Last but not least, the sarung or the sheath that houses the kris blade and offers a level of protection so that one don't accidentally injure oneself when wearing the kris blade on one's body. Incidentally, the sheath itself provides a secondary weapon of sorts, one that can be used to club your attacking foe or to deflect attacks. Also, there is a hypothesis that it may also be made out of medicinal materials to counteract infections and poisons. Interesting to know that in a kris, you don't get one but two weapon types in one form. Last but not least, the optional additional decorative adornments referred to as the tatahan. This is usually done on the kris that has been retired from service back in the day. A kris that has served its owner well will be honored alongside the owner, as he is recognized as a hero of the state. So too will his kris be recognized and honored. Think of it as a modern-day variation of the 21-gun salute. Krises for royalty and nobility too essentially will be adorned and fashioned lavishly from precious metals and gemstones, an indirect display of wealth and authority. In essence, each component of a kris has its own story to tell and serve its own functions. The history of the kris spans all the way from 800 BC and evolved to its final form that we see today. Though it has evolved, some aspects from the old religion and philosophical beliefs of our ancestors are inconspicuously retained. I look forward to sharing more on this in future videos. We have come to the end of today's episode. Thank you for watching till the end. I hope today's video adds value to you and you have learned something from watching this. I look forward to reading your feedback in the comment section, so please feel free to leave a comment. If you like what you have watched today and feel that more useful video guides are required, please show me your support by clicking the like, subscribe and bell notification icon. So until we meet in the next video, this is Keris Johari, better known as Pak Jofei, the Kris Collector from Singapore, snapping out. See you in my next video. Bye bye.